What is left in life if the right to govern our own bodies, our consciousness, and our lives is denied in the name of safety or medicine? Have we become totally anesthetized to the abhorrent conditions of our reality? Have we become blinded to the sacred purpose of our existence? No longer recognizing when our birth rights are stripped away from us, reducing us from a being with creator consciousness to a mere flesh robot. Have we forgotten the sanctity of life? I'm an activist because I value the life of others as much as my own. I recognize that I am but a single thread in the mystical embroidery of life. And every time this fight feels overwhelming, I remember that there are souls who will come after me, whose lives I'm taking a stand for now. When all of us are long gone, when we will be the distant ancestors and vague memories in the dreams of our great-grandchildren, may they look into the stars and know that we did not forsake them. May they feel within their hearts that we did everything we possibly could for them to pave the way for a new world, a better world, a world that would be a gift for them to live in, not a hell. I speak not only of our human family, but our animal kin also. For we can never know true peace until we end the needless torture and bloodshed of our furry, feathered, and scaled brethren. I know that we can heal this world, for I see this every day with my friends who have chosen truth and love over hate and fear. With this gentle yet fiery heart that recognizes that all life is sacred, whether human or animal, born or unborn, wanted or unwanted, we can restore our humanity. We can rebuild our world. But first, we must have the courage to see reality for what it truly is and take collective action. We must end genocide now.
We've known for a long time that something is wrong in our world. We've tried to change it. Last year, with lockdowns, we started losing our freedoms. At times, what's going on looks desperate. It looks like there is no way out. It looks like we are every day more trapped. But I had a vision. I had a vision that from a collapsed world, we can build a better world for humans and animals. We just shouldn't lose hope.
We all have the right to breathe. We all have the right to gather. We all have the right to express ourselves. This is something that we have fought for throughout centuries. And now that we have it, are we really willing to let go that easily? What keeps me going, even in this crazy situation that we're in, is the fact that I know that I'm doing my very best to stand up for my rights and to stand up for everybody's rights. There is no time to stay still. There is no time to stay quiet. As wonderful as it is to be accepting, right now we cannot accept what has been drawn out for us. Accepting cruelty, accepting dehumanization, accepting medical tyranny is not love. Accepting a bully to bully everybody is not love. You have to defend the rights of the weak. You have to defend the rights of yourself. Because once they are taken away, we never know when we will get them back. Without you, there is no change. Now it's time that you dedicate yourself to this mission to make this world a better place. I see the future being extremely bright and loving and amazing. I see everybody on this planet living in harmony with nature. If you stand for human rights, if you stand for animal rights, if you stand for the idea that we all have a right to an equal life, please step up. You are more powerful than you think. If we come together, we can change the world. If we all stand up, there is nothing to hold us back. We are too strong. The love is too strong. When you speak the truth of your heart, your whole life will change. You may lose your job, you may lose some friends, but you will gain a heart full of love. You will gain a life worth living. Living your truth is just way too much fun. You know in your heart what is fair. You know in your heart what is love. And today, I ask of you, before you do anything, always ask yourself, is this coming from love? If the answer is yes, you are on the right path. Live from love. Live from passion of your heart's desire. You are worth it. I'm speaking from my heart. I'm just sharing what my heart knows, and hopefully this will resonate with your heart too.
Hi, this is Dr. Will Tuttle. I am deeply grateful that I discovered now about 40 years ago that the only reason I was eating animal-based foods was because I was just following orders, and those orders were not in my best interests. And I also discovered that the pharmaceutical medical complex was not to be trusted with my health. So I've been taking personal responsibility for my health and realizing that now we are entering into a period of medical tyranny, and that this is a direct reflection of what we are imposing on animals. I've really been warning for decades that if we insist upon imposing on animals terrible abuse and violence and hyper-confinement, to force medications on them and track them with microchipping systems and so forth, that we are sowing the seeds for the same thing to happen to us. As I write about in my book, The World Peace Diet, this is the boomerang effect. Whatever we sow, we will reap. And so what we're seeing now is the result of our actions, and it is time now more than ever for us to wake up and to liberate animals. The path to human liberation is through animal liberation. We're all in this as an interconnected web of life, and that as human beings, we have no need to oppress animals, and if we do, we're going to find ourselves being oppressed and exploited as well. Thanks for caring and for making an effort to understand this and to live in another way.
I fight for our children and for their freedom. We are not meant to be slaves. We are meant to be free. I fight for our humanity, because if I don't, it means that I'm giving my life, my power away to those people who do not think of our best.
Freedom.
I'm Dawn. Our world is a place of incredible beauty, full of an amazing variety of living creatures, from the very tiny to the very large. But our world is also a place of violence. This violence is not something that began only recently. It has existed for many centuries. But right now, in 2021, this violence is taking a new form that has never before existed. It is manifesting as a worldwide tyranny that threatens not only our human family, but also the animals with whom we share our world. If this is not stopped, we will all face a very bleak future. We need to do everything we can now to stop this encroaching tyranny. It is for this reason that I have joined this initiative, because I do not want a future of slavery. I want to live in a world based on peace, not violence. We know that there are consequences to our actions, but there are also consequences to the failure to take action. By failing to act and allowing others to take control over our lives, we have become merely reactive. But we can reclaim our power and choose to be proactive, not reactive. Taking action against violence does not, of course, mean that we have to act with violence, but it does require us to have courage to take the right action now. We must stand up for our rights and freedoms that we will lose if we fail to act.
So why is humanity and our animal friends worth fighting for? I think it's about trying to create a better world and a better future for future generations. We also have to understand that when we stand up for truth and justice and moral behavior, we also gain a lot of self-worth and self-respect in the process, and in some cases it can even give us a meaning in life. And that is important, because without a meaning in life, we start to lose hope, and without hope, we stop living. And to me, life is about exploration and living to the fullest. So that is why I think it's worth fighting for humanity and our animal friends.
I fight for human rights because they are about to be taken from us everywhere in the world. And I'm worried about the future of our children and ourselves. We must stand up and speak up now. Think, how is the world gonna look like after 5 years, after 10 years? What you do now is really important. We have to fight for our rights and keep the freedom that we still have left. And also, we need to protect our animal kin, because they cannot defend themselves. They do not belong to anyone. I think the best way to help animals is to stay away from them, to not eat them, to not use them, and to not ruin their places where they live, like forests and lakes and oceans.
Hi everybody, it's Judy Carmen, and I'm here to share my vision with you. I believe that even though things look so turbulent and so crazy right now, that we're on the verge of creating a world of peace, not just for people, but for all beings and for nature. I believe that human beings have the capacity within us to become Homo ahimsa. Ahimsa is the Sanskrit word for non-harm, non-violence, love, and we are going to leave Homo sapiens behind, the dominating creature that we have been, and become Homo ahimsa, who we really are, deep in our hearts. The being who wants to be kind and loving to all creatures and understand the sacredness of all life. And I know we can do this. We are working hard on it. There's many great leaders helping us, and we are going to do this. We've got a lot of political unrest going on, a lot of people fighting with each other and disliking each other. We have to move past that, and you and I can help do that by reaching inside, finding our true ahimsa nature of nonviolence and inner peace, and extend that out to the entire world. This is a journey that we're on, one of the most important journeys that humanity has ever been on, and it's exciting to be here at this time. And I share my vision with you. I hope it encourages you to stay with this. We are going to do this, and I love you all.
Hello. This is my friend the tomato plant. We are here today to speak with you about why we are worth protecting. I strongly believe in divine and assigned purpose for each and every living soul, human and non-human alike. All beings, here in accordance with our own unique purpose on earth, were created in perfect harmonious balance with nature's unique environmental conditions. As a certified and ordained advocate for care of creation, it is my fundamental standpoint that to artificially interrupt or deviate from one's natural course or purpose is to defy natural law, which can ultimately create discord within Earth's delicate balance, where all beings are interconnected and sacred.
I believe every single sentient being, animal and human, has the divine and thus natural right to live in freedom and happiness, even though extreme and unnatural things have become normalized in this world. But the good news is we are seeing that as a collective, so the whole process of change has already ignited. Let's stay hopeful, because even if the dynamics of evil are now more evident than ever, we are living a contrasting scenario in which the darker it gets, the easier it is to see the light. We have a great opportunity to really recognize ourselves as who we really are and give a hand to our fellow humans who are already in that process. This awakening, particularly that of our human species, is key, because once we take our power back in full responsibility, we can start to reverse all the damage perpetuated to the kingdoms of nature and really restore this planet to the Garden of Eden that is meant to be, I believe, where all creatures of God are sacred, preserved in organic evolution, and like thriving in merciful care. Isn't that a beautiful vision? Because if that vision is not only in me, but in you and in them, it can't be an utopia. It's just about coming back to our essence, to our heart, and seeing and living from there. Love will spread, and it will do exponentially, because it is extremely contagious, much more than any other thing we've been told.
I believe that all of us who are here at this moment in time are here for a reason. We are here to fight for the prevalence of love over fear and light over dark. The world can feel like a very dark place at times, especially at the moment, but it's important for us to remember that it's also full of love and beauty, and that humanity is still full of love and beauty. We are all intricately connected to each other, and everything that one of us does has an effect on the whole. That's why I feel it's so important for us to now stand up and fight for what we believe in, and fight for what is right and just. This is a quote I'd like to finish with. Some believe it is only great powers that can hold evil in check, but that is not what I have found. It is the small, everyday deeds of ordinary folk that keep the darkness at bay. Small acts of kindness and love.
Hello, my dearest hearts. My name is Holly, and I come to you from the United States, and I'm so delighted to share the thoughts on my heart with you today. Life as we know it has dramatically changed over the last year. What was supposed to be 2 weeks to flatten a curve has turned into seemingly endless edicts of self-isolation, lockdowns, and a multitude of conflicting rules and restrictions with moving end dates. The loss of life and livelihoods, based on sloppy science that ignores the true biology of our human bodies, has been needless and tragic. For those uncertain of where we're headed, well, that direction remains up to you and me. I'm speaking out today against one of the greatest crimes against humanity playing out right before our very eyes, and against the subsequent genocide that is unfolding alongside these crimes. I want to take a stand for humanity and encourage you to do the same. I know the special place that you hold in this realm. You were born with unique intention and purpose of absolute magnitude. I'm speaking to you because I know that your future and our children's future is at stake, and I can no longer remain silent. Please join me in putting an end to this horrendous trauma and psychological harm happening to our babies and our children and their families. If you're uncertain about where you stand in your knowing, I urge you to investigate these claims and weigh them against your heart and your spirit and your mind. And know that your body and you are far more powerful than you have ever been led to believe. You are a divine being. You came from realms of unimaginable power and light, where you will one day return. While we're here in this realm, we must do the work to protect humanity. We must keep asking questions. We must remember that there is no science or progress without dialogue, without open dialogue. One of the first steps in seeking this truth is breaking free from propaganda-based fear that pits us against each other, family member against family member, and friend against friend, to the tune of the only two pathogenic viruses that exist, hate and fear. For those of you fighting against the tyrannical push for this dystopian world, I hope you can hear the echoes of your cries for freedom. If you're still not sure what you can do to stop this genocide, these crimes against humanity, I implore you to listen to the still small voice in your heart, the one tugging at you as you see the baby in the mask, as you see your loved ones dying alone, as you see friends and family suffering the psychological damage of isolation and fear. Stand up and say, enough is enough. It is up to us to end this oppression. There is no action too small, whether it's planting a garden, hugging a neighbor, or speaking out openly against the tyranny. No act in truth and love will return void. We have an obligation to not remain silent. I want you to know that I will never, ever lose my faith in my fight for you, for the children, and for the sake of human and animal kind, for the world that I know is worthy of you. There has never been a better time to know who you are and what you're not. And I'm here to tell you, humanity is not a virus. Humanity is truth and compassion. Humanity is love. And I love you.
Today we are launching this initiative to disarm institutional propaganda and bring to an end the discrimination, persecution, and genocide of our human and non-human family. Together, we can restore peace on this earth. To find out how you can contribute to this initiative, stay tuned in all of our Dawn of Peace channels: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Odyssey, and dawnofpeace.org. Many blessings to you all.